Surface Laptop 4. The Surface Laptop 4 starts at $999, £999, AU $1,599. That price will get you the starting 13.5-inch configuration with an AMD Ryzen 5 processor, 8GB of RAM, and a 256GB SSD. If you want to go up to a 15-inch model, you're looking at a Surface Laptop 4 price of $1,299, £1,299, AU $2,199. That starting configuration gets you an AMD Ryzen 7 processor, 8GB of RAM, and a 256GB SSD. That means the biggest difference between the 15 and 13-inch Surface Laptop 4 at the entry level is the CPU. The AMD Ryzen 5 4680U is a 6-core 12-thread part, where the Ryzen 7 4980U is 8-core, 16-thread. So, the 15-inch is going to be a bit better at heavily multi-threaded workloads like video editing. Everything else is basically the same. The 15-inch laptop does technically have a higher resolution, but it's the same pixel density. It's 201 ppi on either laptop, so there's not going to be a noticeable difference either way you go. Still, a bigger laptop screen is a bigger laptop screen. You can also upgrade the rest of the laptop's hardware if you need a bit more power. And, oddly, the higher configurations feature Intel hardware instead of AMD. The most powerful Surface laptop you can get is the 15-inch model with an 11th Gen Intel Core i7 processor, 32GB of RAM, and a 1TB SSD for $2,399, £2,399, AU $3,999. It's definitely an odd configuration, given that the workloads that would need the most RAM are the same workloads that would need the extra processor power that the Ryzen 7 4980U would bring to the table. Hopefully, Microsoft adds that configuration at a later date. We're sure there's some traveling video editor somewhere that would appreciate it. The Surface Laptop has always been a gorgeous piece of hardware, and the Surface Laptop 4 is definitely no exception. The model we got in for review is the 13.5-inch Surface Laptop 4, and it is one of the most lightweight and thin laptops we've ever used that doesn't totally suck to type on. It comes in 4 color options, and we got the Platinum option. It's beautiful. The lid of the Platinum Surface Laptop 4 is, well, platinum colored, with the only marking being a chrome Microsoft logo square in the middle of the laptop. The bottom of the laptop looks similar, but the keyboard tray has a slightly darker color. The laptop is just 0.57 inches thick and weighs just 2.79 pounds, 1.3 kilograms, which makes it a breeze to carry around in your bag while commuting around. But even with the Surface Laptop 4 being so thin, it still feels incredibly robust. The lid is made of aluminum and has absolutely no flex to it. And, unlike a lot of other touchscreen laptops out there, when you poke the display, the hinge is so solid that you don't have to readjust your screen afterwards or brace it with your other hand. This in and of itself makes using the touchscreen way more convenient and makes it feel like less of a gimmick, something other laptop manufacturers can definitely learn from. But as solid as the top of the laptop is, the story of the keyboard deck is all about comfort. As is now traditional with the Surface Laptop, the keyboard and trackpad are surrounded by an Alcantara material that is nice and soft. It's a suede-like microfiber pile. It makes typing so much more comfortable right out of the gate, because instead of this hard metal like you get with most comparable laptops, it's nice and soft. But there's a downside to it. If you spill something on this material, or you get crumbs on it during a lunch break, we get the feeling that it will get dirty and would be a bit harder to clean than it otherwise would be. But if you're conscious of hygiene and don't find yourself stuffing your face while also trying to get the project that's due in the morning out the door, it should be perfect. One of the biggest casualties of the thin size, however, is the lack of ports. All you get here is the Surface Connect port on the right, one USB-C, one USB-A and a headphone jack. We do appreciate that the laptop still has a USB-A port, something that's far from guaranteed these days, but it doesn't leave much room for expansion for anyone that doesn't want to shell out the extra cash for a Surface stock. The Surface Laptop 4 display is also genuinely gorgeous. The 13.5-inch model we have is a 3.2 pixel sense display with a resolution of 2256 x 1504, which is about perfect for the display size. This does make watching movies and videos on this laptop a bit weird, as you get 2 black bars when viewing 16:9 content. But when we're working on this thing, we love the extra vertical space, especially when writing. Speaking of writing, the Surface Laptop 4 has what is hands down the best laptop keyboard we have ever used. Writing on this laptop is completely effortless, and it somehow has plenty of travel despite the super thin chassis. Even the MacBook Pro's keyboard doesn't compare, and that was our favorite laptop keyboard before we tried this one out. The deep travel of the keyboard is even more surprising when you realize that the speakers are under there. It's part of Microsoft's design policy that there shouldn't be any visible holes that aren't ports, at least. And the speakers are fine. This isn't a media consumption device by any means, but these speakers will play music fine. Even bass-heavy tracks like Dorian Electra's Flamboyant sound great, even if there's a little left to be desired. What keeps the design of the laptop from being perfect, however, are the large bezels. They look like they're from a laptop from 5 or 6 years ago. The bezels don't destroy the experience or anything, but if you look at this laptop next to, say, the Dell XPS 13, it may look a little out of date. The Surface Laptop 4 we reviewed here is equipped with an Intel Core i7-1185 G7 and 16 GB of RAM, which means it has no problem with anything we threw at it. Even when we loaded this laptop up with literally dozens of Chrome tabs, while listening to music through YouTube and chatting on both Slack and Discord, the Surface Laptop 4 doesn't show any sign of slowing down. That's something that most laptops these days should be able to do, but what makes the Surface Laptop 4 so impressive is that it is able to do all of that without slowdown, while we are on battery power. We're able to just chill on our couch while working, without worrying about either the laptop locking up or tripping our roommates with the power cable. And, when plugged in, the laptops speak for the performance of this laptop. In Cinebench R23, the Surface Laptop 4 was able to get a solid 4,998 points, which is about what we would expect out of this processor. Similarly in Geekbench 5, the Surface Laptop 4 got a single-core score of 1,356 points, and 4,918 in multi-core. If you're after a super portable laptop that can get some work done, the Surface Laptop 4 can certainly get the job done. Also, while the Surface Laptop 4 definitely isn't built for gaming, it was able to get a pretty respectable 5,151 points in 3D Mark Fire Strike, which means it should be able to handle some of the best indie games. Just don't go thinking you can run Cyberpunk 2077 at max settings or anything.